Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
All right, welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Today, we are going back to... Oh, shit. Where are we going back to? I think it's 95.
Yes.
We have been to 1995 quite a few times.
We have.
I'm beginning to think it was a... I don't know if the movies we did were good or not in 95. But we remember liking a lot of movies in 95.
Yes. 1995 was a good year. Well, sure. Why not?
Well,
good hair year for me.
Well, this movie in 1995 is Tank Girl, starring Lori Petty and Malcolm McDowell. What do you remember about Tank Girl?
I remember it having almost like a cultural chokehold on teenage girls. I remember this movie being huge with fashion, hair, makeup, and also it just being so fucking random that everybody's like, yo, this is like a fever dream. Like somebody did mushrooms and wrote this movie. Then everybody did mushrooms and acted in it. That's what I remember.
I remember liking it
Mhm.
ish. I don't remember loving it. I remember liking Lori Petty, like Touch My Heart and Free Willy. Touch Other Parts on Me and Point Blank.
Uh-huh.
Not literally, I mean. What other movies was she in? In that time period? Free Willy, Point Blank. Oh, there's a couple.
She had a little bit of a rough bit. She did In the Army Now with Pauly Shore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, actually, I remember liking that movie.
Apparently, she was in Point Break.
Yes,
Her big thing was A League of Their Own. That was in 92.
Yeah, I remember League of Her Own.
Yeah. Incredible in it. I'm looking now and I'm like, damn, did she do anything else?
Yeah, she was big there for the early to mid 90s. She was in quite a bit.
And then it started to just kind of go off kilter, her career.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think she had some personal issues.
Yeah, and then she appeared out of nowhere. I was watching Orange Is the New Black, and I think she just played herself in that. She was nuts. She's always struck me as someone that's just danced to her own beat of a drum, whatever was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has definitely forged her own path. And made choices that were maybe questionable to some, but seemed sound to her.
Yeah.
She's definitely a very interesting person, and I mean, in my heart, I have such a place for her.
Oh, I bet you just to sit to hang out with her and just listen to some of her stories would be awesome.
It would be so awesome.
All right, let's take a look at Tank Girl box office. Released March 31st, 1995, with a budget of $25 million, it grossed $4 million.
That hurts my heart.
Wow. It did not do well at all. Wow. Of note, it it opened on the same weekend as Tommy Boy. My God, I love that movie. And while that movie opened at number 1, Tank Girl opened at number 10. It dropped to 15th place by the second weekend and was gone from most theaters after that. It did stay in a few theaters though, and had a 39-week run.
Mm-hmm.
So it made $3 million in 2 weekends, and then for the next 37 weeks, it made another $1 million. So it's probably stayed at a few
Yeah.
theaters that were a little more, I don't know, I want to say hip or more progressive,
Artsy.
hipsy, artsy
Definitely.
clientele.
Yeah, this was definitely a very niche market for this movie because it was based on a comic book that was popular, but also kind of niche. Like it wasn't a Superman or,
No,
it wasn't Marvel, it wasn't DC, it didn't have that kind of recog- recognition across the board.
yeah,
So it was kind of more, it had its own little corner.
yeah,
And then they made a movie about it and they thought the movie will be fun because this is a fun comic. And then a lot of people did not get the movie.
no, no, and yeah, and in the 90s, superhero movies were not really a thing.
No,
Not like we got Judge Dredd, we got I can't remember. I couldn't we got Punisher and Captain America, but not like today. They were very
no,
low budget. They weren't bad, but
they weren't
they didn't
great.
put the money and stuff in it like they did today.
No, it superhero movies in the 90s. I mean, that's when we got most of the Batmans.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we
And then
got
there were some failures with like the Phantom.
the Phantom, the
Blade
Shadow,
was huge.
Blade near the
Yeah.
end of the end of the 90s. It was
Yeah,
Blade
the
was actually
Shadow,
really
which was
good.
sad. Blade was good, although my favorite is still Blade Trinity. Um, thank you,
Really?
Ryan
Oh my
Reynolds.
God! Actually,
Ryan
I
Reynolds
like
is
that
half.
movie,
I like it. It's funny.
but Blade 2 is my favorite. That movie just
Blade 2 is
kicked
pretty good.
ass.
I'll give you that.
But I could watch all 3. I liked the Blade
Yeah.
movies. Yeah.
So I mean, the 90s was hit or miss. You had some really good ones and some that you're like, who decided to make The Rocketeer?
Actually, I remember liking The Rocketeer.
Then there was Darkman. Who decided to make that?
Yeah,
Although
because
Dick Tracy
I
was
love
a
Darkman.
yeah,
Dick Tracy, I don't remember. And we got The Mask. We got Spawn.
yeah.
We got the Ninja Turtles. We got the Batman movies. We got Mystery Man. We got The Crow, which I remember liking. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
The
looking at
Crow
them
is so
here.
good. The Crow is a classic.
Time Cop, the RoboCop 2,
Yeah.
which was all right. RoboCop 3, which was not. The Mask of Zorro.
So it was very, very much hit or miss
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
90s for superhero or comic book movies. Some of them hit it on the mark, but just weren't like mass marketable. And then some of them were just shitty. And then there was stuff like the Turtles, which hit both.
Yeah, the Turtles and I would say the Batman movies. Like Batman
Yeah,
Returns was huge, Batman Forever was huge, Batman and Robin not so much.
not so much, but there was also just a lot of um people had a lot of issues with that movie for no good goddamn reason.
You really like because we talked about Batman. You
Yeah,
really like
Batman
this.
and Robin was a good movie.
We're gonna have to watch it because I just
We're gonna have to watch
remember.
it. I remember liking that movie, but I also remember because I think that's the one that has Batgirl in it. Poor Alicia
Yes,
Silverstone. She
and
has to do this movie, and everybody's just like, she's so fat, and I'm like,
uh,
she's like a size 6, you fat phobic motherfuckers.
that's what Batman got his nipples and Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Amen. Ain't nothing wrong with some nipples on a Batman.
all right, let's go to the tail of the tape for
All
Tank
right.
Girl. Yeah, so the 90s
Yeah.
were all over the place for quality. Not a
Yeah.
lot of Marvel movies, but yeah, here we go. 1995 is a sci-fi adventure action rated R, which I kind of shocks me.
Interesting.
Comes in an hour and 44 minutes. So if this sucks, it's going to seem long.
Yeah.
Taglines. In the future, the odds of survival are 1,000 to 1.
That's not a good tagline.
In the future, the odds of survival are 1,000 to 1. That's just the way she likes it.
That's not a good tagline.
They just added to it. That's just the way she likes it.
That's also not a good tagline.
And I'm not making this up. These are the taglines that I've gotten for this movie. They're just
Jesus. Who approved this?
too hip for Spielberg.
That's nonsensical.
Well, actually, there is a story behind that. It'll probably be in our trivia, but I'll just say that Spielberg was offered to direct it. And he came back and said that he believes he's not into comic books. He didn't think he was too hip to make the movie. He wasn't hip enough to make Tank Girl based on the comic books.
Uh-huh.
So they used that as a
Yes,
tagline.
but that is a tagline only goes to a very, very specific, incredibly small amount of the possible viewers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is useless. This
Yeah,
is a shitty tagline.
I think they gave him the script and he looked at it and he's like, I don't think so. Make up whatever excuse you want. I'm not doing this movie.
I'm not cool enough for this. You're gonna have to pick someone else.
Yeah. In 2033, Justice rides a tank and wears lip gloss.
That is a much, much better tagline.
That is, yeah. That was the best one.
That was, yes.
Synopsis. After a comet disrupts the rain cycle of Earth, the planet has become a desolate, barren desert by the year 2033. With resources scarce, Kesley, Malcolm McDowell, head of the powerful and evil Water and Power Corporation and the de facto government, has taken control of the water supply. Unwilling to cower under Kesley's tyrannical rule, a pair of outlaws known as Tank Girl, Lori Petty, and Jet Girl, Naomi Watts, forgot she was in this, rise up, joining the mysterious rebel Rippers to destroy the corrupt system. It
Look at
sounds all
that.
right.
Yeah. Now let's just see how it plays out.
And here is the poster. In the future, the odds of survival are 1001. That's just the way she likes it. Is on the top. There's some airplane type things. And then there's the tank with her kind of leaning into the camera type thing. That's an all right. It's an all right poster. Nothing wrong with it, really. That's probably the reason I rented it. I did not go to the theater. No one went to the theater and watched this fucking movie. So I rented it just like everyone else. And this is probably why I rented it. I'd never read the comic as a kid.
Yeah.
So
I never read the comic either, but I think I watched it not in the theaters, but I think I rented it.
yeah. And you would have walked into Blockbuster, saw a bunch of these on the wall, and you're looking at it going, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Futuristic apocalypse, tanks,
Lord
whatever.
Petty.
Here are a couple other. Here's one that was the coming soon one. Poster girl for the apocalypse. I like that better than the.
Yeah.
And then this one has her being shot out of the tank. I think this is for another country. Tank girl.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
She's mad, bad, and dangerous to know. That's a better tagline.
That's
Poster
a better
girl for the
tagline.
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Perfect tagline. Like, they should have just kept that. Instead of fucking around with 1,000 to 1, 1,000 to. That's the way she likes it.
Stupid. 47 critic reviews, comes in at 45%.
God damn.
25,000 audience reviews, comes in at 62%. So there was a bit, the audience liked it more.
Yeah.
Critic consensus. While unconventional, Tank Girl isn't particularly clever or engaging, and none of the script's copious one-liners have any real zing. All right, so let's start with the fresh, and you may start.
In bringing to life the comic book of the same name by Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett, Telele incorporates bombastic action, cartoon violence, a bold color palette, and even traditional hand-drawn animation into a unique world all its own. Mariah E. Gates, cool people have feelings too. Yeah, they do, Mariah.
I found it entertaining in a pleasantly odd way. Dennis Schwartz movie reviews, original score B.
That's very promising. The movie is hyperactive and generally a lot of fun, with a kick-ass soundtrack supervised by Courtney Love and imaginatively cluttered production design by Catherine Hardwick. Rob Gonzalez, Rob's Movie Vault, original score B.
So it looks cool and sounds good.
Yeah,
Great.
that's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah. A lot more fun than you'd think. Ken Hankey, Mountain Express, original score 3.3 out of 5.
Welcome back to the podcast, Ken.
wonder
We
if he's
should see if he
still.
wants to guest.
Yeah, that'd be
Is
cool.
he still alive? Let's find him.
I think he would be.
A glorious spastic mess. Mark Savlov, Austin Chronicle, original score 3 out of 5.
The result is a bracing film that's halfway between a string of MTV videos, Courtney Love put together the edgy soundtrack, and some of that network's over-the-top cartoons. Richard Harrington, Washington Post.
It's fantastic.
MTV was pretty big around this time too, so
Very, very big.
yeah.
Beavis and Butthead was too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, here are the rotten. Oop, sorry. And you may go.
Simply Bad. Madeline Williams, Cinematter, original score 0 out of 4. That's our second 0.
Yeah. Petty ruins this movie with her bad acting. Inability to crack jokes and the ability to look stupid no matter what she is doing. This isn't an IMDb. This is an actual critic. Christopher Null, filmcritic.com, original score 1.5 out of 5. He
That
is
was
not
so
like
harsh.
Petty.
Jeez. I wanted to like Tank Girl, but I kept feeling that the filmmakers kept daring me to not like it, daring me to be unhip. Scott Renshaw, Rec Arts Movies Reviews, original score 4 out of 10. I have a feeling Scott is actually unhip.
Yeah. Watching Tank Girl is as disorienting as waking up in someone else's bad dream. You want to get out as fast as possible, but all the exit seems to be blocked. Kenneth Turan, Los Angeles Times, original score 1 out of 5.
Dang, Kenneth. Ugh. Mike McCranagan, Aisle Seat, original score 1 out of 5. Even with just 1 out of 5. Not even a 0.
No. For those listening, that's the review. UGH.
Period. Ugh.
How well you'll tolerate this utterly unhinged quasi-feminist comic book fantasy depends on your Lori Petty threshold. TV Guide original score 2 out of 4.
TV Guide, you're so mean.
Wow.
Enormous energy went into this movie. I could not, however, care about it for much more than a moment at time. A moment at a time. And after a while, its manic energy wore me down. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times, original score 2 out of 4.
All right. IMDb, the voice of reason. 35,000 user ratings, comes in at 5.4 out of 10.
Ew.
You may go.
All right. If you don't like this movie, you probably don't like fun. 10 out of 10, Tom Swirly.
Hilarious, but not for the norms. You normies. 9 out of 10, Dante, 42.
Perfect. Great fun and visually interesting with some wonderful one-liners and buckets of attitude. 8 out of 10, Mephisto, 24.
Many, many flaws, but somehow still amazing. 7 out of 10, The Conjurer.
Stupid, but loads of fun. 6 out of 10, Ramstein, 2.
Tanks a lot. 5 out of 10, Lee Eisenberg.
Yeah. 4 out of 10, Katron Wallace.
It just says YEAH, period.
Period.
Yeah. Insane, but I have to admit I admire any movie where they have somehow convinced Ice-T to play an anthropomorphic wallaby. 3 out of 10, Le Gremlin.
I always thought he was a kangaroo.
I thought he was a kangaroo too, so I guess they might be a wallabies.
Interesting. For Spice Girls fans, 2 out of 10. Salut toi.
Oh, here we go. Forgot. A masterpiece without equal. I believe that this movie is the holy grail of bad films. It has everything one would look for in the worst movie of all time. Most annoying protagonist ever. Check. Terrible acting? Check. Bad storyline? Check. This movie is undoubtedly the worst film I've ever seen, which is truly saying something. For years, I have scoured late night TV, Walmart bargain bins, and on demand looking for a movie to bestow this title upon, and I can now say that I have completed this task. This film has no redeeming qualities either. Most movies, you can say the acting was bad, but at least it had a good premise. But not here. This film has nothing going for it. I highly recommend that everyone watch this film because every movie you watch from here on out, you can say at least it's better than Tank Girl. 1 out of 10. Ketro on Wallace.
I don't think that's actually, unless the one I read before was also him.
No, was it?
Yeah, he's come up twice now in this one.
Oh no. Oh, it
Say
is.
4 out of 10.
Okay,
Yeah,
so give me 2 seconds because someone that wrote this needs to have.
they need to have their proper credit.
Yeah, and I have it. All right. Just edit this part out. Do. Yeah, this one had actually very high user reviews for not having that many.
Yeah.
So a lot of people took the time to. Here we go. Oh, I can't. Okay, so let me just say. Okay, so a masterpiece without equal. That full review was not by Ketro Wallace. This was actually done by Herbie Greattone.
Thank you, Herbie. Thank you for your service.
So every other movie you watch from here on out, you can say, "Hey, at least it's better than Tank Girl."
This is concerning.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But people who liked it.
Yeah.
All right. So we did the box office. We took a look at everything the movie has and even the review. So let us look at the trailer and then come back and make our predictions.
It's the year 2033. There's no law. No mercy.
You're gonna really love this one.
And no water.
There are 3 million liters of water underneath the blue dunes, and you will retrieve it.
The odds of survival are 1,000 to 1. And that's just the way she likes it.
My. Talented, isn't she?
Hi, feeling a little inadequate?
She'll be fun to break.
I like pain.
Lori Petty.
Did I hurt you yet?
Ice-T.
Turn this boat around and you're gonna get us all killed.
And Malcolm McDowell.
Just how many of my men did you kill?
United Artists Pictures presents
Just say, I won.
I won.
Tank Girl.
What's it like knowing you're about to die?
You don't!
Well, I will say the soundtrack looks good.
Soundtrack looks amazing. I might have to look that shit up on Spotify.
Yeah. The movie. Okay, well, what are your predictions for Tank Girl?
I think I may agree that it's a crappy movie. However, I'm holding out hope that that was just a really crappily edited trailer, and lines will hit better in the movie. But I do not have high hopes.
No, I don't have high hopes either. But it could be, it's been a while. It could have now wandered into territory of so bad it's good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
I mean, Ice-T as a wallaby.
Or a kangaroo.
Or
We haven't
kangaroo. We don't
decided
know.
yet.
No. Lori Petty looks like Lori Petty.
She
Malcolm
does.
McDowell is just actually Malcolm McDowell is just a very professional and amazing actor, and you can put him in anything, and he will give you what you want.
Also, he's one of the greatest like villains.
Oh God! Ever since Clockwork Orange, and
Yeah,
yeah, he's been
so
the Star
good.
Trek Generations.
Yes.
Yeah, he's yeah, he can
Everything
be anything you want him to be. Make him a bad guy, and you really
you hit a sweet spot with him.
yeah
Like he just knows how to do devious
yeah.
without being campy or uncomfortable or weird.
And Naomi Watts, I forgot was even in this movie.
Same.
I don't. Was this her first movie?
I don't think so. I know she did a lot of like maybe the first movie in the US.
She plays Jet Girl.
Yeah.
Naomi Watts is a very, 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 very good actress. Like stupid good.
She is
I'm just
very
taking a quick
good.
look here.
Um
No, she did a few things before the. Oh, she did quite a few things before this. But I
yeah,
think
I
this
think
was her first big.
North American thing.
Yeah, I think everything
Wait,
else here. She was in Matinee, but it was just a small part. Home and Away, yeah. I
yeah,
think a
Home and
lot
Away
of
is an
TV
Australian, so
series, yeah. So
Brides
this
of
is probably
Christ.
her big budget movie, her first real big budget movie.
Yeah.
And then after this, her career went into overdrive.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
She killed it after like she just kept building on it.
And what I really like about Naomi Watts is that she did like the artsy films. She did the
Mhm.
really like Mulholland Drive and all those, but
Yeah.
then she also did The Ring. So
Yes.
it's like she likes if something she has done. Yeah, Eastern Promises, Funny Games. Yeah, she's done a lot.
She's done a lot of very, very different things.
Yeah.
And I love that for her because she just kept it crazy in her career. She's like, let me do everything. Like King Kong.
Yeah, that was I actually like King Kong. I remember liking King Kong.
I remember liking King Kong too. And I was like, first of all, it's King Kong.
Yeah,
Whatever. Um,
Peter Jackson.
yeah. Uh like movie 43. And then she played Diana. I thought she was probably the person who looked most like Diana. Um, yeah, there's a lot of random stuff that she's done. And I'm just like, you just kept going all over the place. And I love that.
Well, I don't think she was at the pinnacle of her craft to save this movie, but we'll see. And
We'll see if this is just a learning experience for her.
like you, I don't have a lot of high hopes, but I'm hoping it leans into that campy
Mhm.
fun and not just what the fuck am I watching?
That's what I'm holding on to. I really just want to be able to roll my eyes and laugh with it.
Yeah.
And maybe have a little bit of a nostalgia if there's like enough kind of 90s humor and moments. I'm like, maybe we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we're going to find out as we are about to go watch Tank Girl starring Lori Petty. And when we come back, we are going to review it. Yay.
Woo.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Okay, so this is coming back from Tank Girl. This is my face for Tank Girl. Did you watch the 1995 comic book Feminist Bazaar? I'm not sure what I just watched, but Yeah.
I did, yes.
What's your initial thoughts?
First of all, I don't know how much feminism is actually in it,
For a
other than
feminist,
it has a female lead.
yeah, it was really hyped as a feminist movie back in the 90s. Like so like and it, like what all the stuff that I looked over when it was feminist, feminist, feminist. And I'm watching it going, it's kind of just role reversal. Like it's just
I don't see, like, other than it has a female lead who's irreverent and violent. I'm like, but that in and of itself is not feminism,
maybe more girl power.
which in theory people are like girl power is feminism. I'm like, this is not, this is just a mentally unbalanced but excited by violence random, like, I was like, this is not, she's not working towards any sort of anyways, I have so many thoughts, but
She is a female.
she's female.
She's helping a female and
Um
she's trying to rescue a female. I think in
yes,
1995 that qualified as feminism.
apparently, because I was watching it and I was like, don't get me wrong, but like the main reason why she starts going to shit and going crazy is because her boyfriend is shot. I was like, I don't know how feminist that is, because if she had started shooting right off the bat and she got real violent real fast, okay, fine, feminism, sure. But I'm like, she watched her boyfriend get shot, and then that's when she loses her shit. I was like, no, girl, you lose your shit because random people are shooting at home, at your home, or they're trying to like take it up. There's a lot that's not. Anyways, we're gonna discuss that.
Yeah. Well,
But
my
yes, I
initial
watched it.
thoughts. Tank Girl. It's a movie,
Mhm.
so it's got that going for it. There were times I thought I was watching the Monkees. Remember that old 60s? It
I
used to
love that
play.
show
Yeah, I used to because it used to play in the afternoons
on Much
or
Music.
after school. Yeah, and
Yeah,
yeah, it was different for me,
along with the
American.
Partridge. Oh, see, I watched
Sorry.
it on Much Music with the Partridge Family.
Yeah, and I remember liking like the monkey. I loved all that 60s crap, the banana splits, the
Yeah,
monkeys, all that stuff. But this is what sometimes this is what it remind like all those fast forward scenes, and then she's just laying on the ground tired because haha, she was going in fast forward. I won't lie, I looked at my watch a few times and I was sad.
mm,
Mostly because I didn't have a watch to tell me how much time I had left to go in this movie. But yeah, you're right. Instead of an edgy and cool tank girl, Tank Girl comes off as like Harley Quinn's intellectually disabled cousin. Like she doesn't come off cool. She doesn't come
yeah,
off smart. She doesn't. They had a. We'll get into this because they had a really good
yeah.
opportunity here, and
They had such a great opportunity.
as I watch this, I'm going. I don't think I did like this movie back in 1995. This
I
is one of
rem
the. That's why I didn't watch it since 1995.
yes. Like, I watching it now, I'm like, they shat the bed. Like, they really shat the bed with
Hardcore,
this
yeah.
one. Like, they could have, like, it was there. The elements were there.
Yeah, they had everything.
They had everything, and they just were like, "Fuck this, we're gonna make something so boring,
Yeah.
people will fa." I had to fight to stay awake during it.
And it wasn't that long of a movie.
No! That's what killed me. I'm like, it's not even like it's a 3-hour, like, English patient bullshit.
No.
Like, this is, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And as I'm watching it, I'm just getting more and more sad because 'cause I'm like, "Guys, you could have done so much better."
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go over the movie.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Like it pretty much sums. I think I know where our scores are going, but we got some time to fill. So,
Yeah.
okay, now the Wikipedia plot outline is not that long, and I am okay with that. This movie is thin on story. This movie is thin on everything.
True story.
So, in the year 2033, after a decade-long global drought in the wake of a comet striking the Earth, the little remaining water is controlled by Kesley, Malcolm McDowell,
Yes.
and his Water and Power W&P Corporation, which subdues the population by monopolizing the water supply. They didn't even give us hints of that. Like there was no. And Tank Girl gives us this rundown of what happened.
Yeah.
The voiceover and explains the story. That was Okay.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
I wasn't mad.
I like going into a movie knowing what's going on. I appreciate it. Sometimes
I
it's done
do,
with
yeah.
visuals and narrating is much cheaper. But I do appreciate knowing what's going on. Some movies that you figure it out as you go. This is not that type of movie. Thank God.
No.
Because if I had to work to understand this movie, I'd have been even more pissed. Rebecca Buck, Tank Girl, Lori Petty, is a member of a commune in the Australian outback that operates the last water well not controlled by the corporation. In an attack on the commune, W&P troops kill Tank Girl's boyfriend, Richard Brian Wimmer, and capture Tank Girl and her young friend Sam, Stacy Lynn Ramzower. That's the actress. Okay, so we see the commune. They're living together. They got water. They shower together, according to Tank Girl. Rebecca is supposed to be on guard duty. What a piss poor job she did.
Fuck yeah, tell me about it.
Because they landed aircraft and dozens of soldiers, and it was the desert.
Right?
There
like,
was
there's
no
nothing
forest or
blocking your
mountains.
view. They couldn't fucking sneak in.
No.
Like this was they were not even trying to be quiet.
No.
And the best part is, like, she's doing a bunch of stuff. And also, I got really mad because she was just throwing away cigarettes. I'm like, you're telling me that you just have
post-apocalypse.
Post-apocalypse, you just have never-ending cigarettes,
Yeah.
like never-ending tobacco. But fine, I'm not gonna get mad about that.
Even
I was
the people on
annoyed, but
Walking
not mad.
Dead conserve their cigarettes.
Right? She's just like smoking half a cigarette and then tossing it. And I was like, God. And then she's, painting her nails and whatever. Anyways, because the movie starts off with her looking for a birthday present for her boyfriend. She comes back with a birthday present, which happens to be a pair of boots. Yay. He finds the present. She thinks he's coming because she hears boots, I guess, walking towards her. Does she look? No. She starts snipping at her clothing.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I highly doubt that there's a Walmart open where she could just go and pick up a new pair of pants. But she's snipping at her clothing like it doesn't matter. Anyways, doesn't even look, is obviously not watching for anyone.
No.
And then really creepy guard guy is like, keep going.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And then eventually she fights him. It's all very nice. But I was like, God, this is how we're gonna, everything they've done to introduce her. All I see is someone who I'm like, you're high, aren't you? Like, you're just living life high.
Yeah.
With no care in the world.
And not once does she take responsibility for.
No.
Because it was all her fault.
One moment of, I should have been keeping better watch. Nope. Nothing.
Nope. And this harkens back, this whole the fight scenes and shootouts here were fucking horrible. Oh, this harkens back to 80s heroes taking out gangs and armies like a one-man army. But unlike those guys, Tank Girl doesn't even aim. I don't even think she has her eyes open sometimes. And she's dropping soldiers left and right.
Yep.
Some guys are jumping, and I don't mean like stunt guys with ropes around their waist being hauled backwards. It's like the director directed them to literally jump backwards. One dude got shot in the chest and jumped forward. And squibs, those little lightning squibs going off. Oh,
I was watching it. I was like, she has one gun, but apparently she's so good.
Yeah.
That she's just hitting all of these uniformed, Kevlar'd.
Yeah.
Trained soldiers. And I was
poorly trained.
Apparently, because they all just stood there while waiting to get shot. And I was like, okay, fine. Whatevs.
Yeah, this is some 80s Arnold Schwarzenegger,
terrible.
Sylvester Stallone shit going on.
I was and she's there at the window, and I was she's standing laying there actually, I think at this point.
Yeah, she was laying there.
Holding the gun, looking in, watching everybody either get snatched, the kid was snatched, her boyfriend's killed. She watched them run into that house. Just let them. I'm just going to wait until you come back out.
Yeah, and the piece de resistance, the airplane that hovers in front of the house while the soldiers are inside and unleashes thousands of bullets, sparks flying, squibs flying, not one hole in that house. And then all the soldiers come walking out.
Yeah.
That many bullets, no one should have been living. That house should have been leveled. Like, I know it's a goofy movie, but Jesus, you're asking a lot.
Uh,
Like, you're asking a lot of me.
It could have been like that fight, that shootout could have been directed better.
Yeah.
Mind you, this entire movie could have been written better, but fine. Like, I get it that she's supposed to be kind of edgy and irreverent and very like extreme. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But this just felt like she did not care.
No.
And I'm like, I feel like that's not I feel like it's not the vibe that they should have gone for.
Yeah, no, there was no, like, she got over everything pretty quick.
She was cool.
Yeah.
She was good. There was no moment.
No.
No.
Yeah, and you could still have a goofy, cartoony movie like this and still put a bit of serious, like, you want us to take the movie serious, enjoying it, like, but yeah,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Rather than killing her, Kesley enslaves and tortures the defiant tank girl. Jet Girl, Naomi Watts, a talented but introverted jet mechanic who has given up trying to escape WMP, urges Tank Girl to make less trouble for their captors. Though Tank Girl refuses, among other forms of torture, WMP personnel push her down into a long pipe and induce claustrophobia. So Kesley, Malcolm McDowell, and okay, first, Malcolm McDowell is fine in
He's
this
awesome
movie.
always. Yeah.
Yeah. You got yourself a great villain. He's
Yep.
just Malcolm McDowell, and he played it.
That's all you
Like,
need. He played it well. Like, his
Yep.
character is ridiculous,
Oh yeah.
but he played it perfectly that you are kind of like, you're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, not in a you're weird and I'm laughing at you kind of way, but in a
Yeah.
I would really not want to work for you.
No, because he makes the one guy walk across glass before he kills him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dehydrates him.
Dehydrates him.
And then drinks his
And then
body
drinks
water.
his water. So you
Like,
got your villain.
You're not gonna run it through a filtration, like anything, nothing.
No. And he's like,
Not even a coffee filter.
delightful.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
So he sends her to the mines, like literally. She tries to escape. She gets caught. Then they take her out to the desert looking for. Finally, they're like done, and because he wants to use her, she doesn't give up. So they take her out to the desert. They think they have the Ripper's lair, and because things keep sinking but blowing up, so they're like going to send her in, and if she gets through, great. They know where it is. If she blows up, well, then she blows up.
Yeah.
The mysterious Rippers slaughter guards at the WMP compound, then escape. Kesley uses Tank Girl to lure the Ripper. Yeah, this is what Wikipedia says. The mysterious Rippers slaughter guards at the WP compound, then escape. Kesley uses Tank Girl to lure Rippers into the open, but they gravely wound him. Yeah, he gets like ripped apart.
Yeah, his arm is ripped off.
Yeah, Tank Girl and Jet Girl escape during the attack. Jet Girl steals a fighter jet from WMP, and Tank Girl steals a tank which she modifies heavily through montage.
Yes.
Mostly done with comic strips.
Yeah, I have the comic strips.
They relied heavily on them.
It's like the comic strip, like animation. I was like, I get it. This is a comic book. You don't have to throw in the comic animation to convince me. This movie is like the basic storyline of this movie is enough to convince me it's a comic.
Yeah.
Like I get it. And it felt so not even jarring because they almost made it like a little music video that they would throw in.
Yeah.
Throughout, which I was like, this does not flow well.
Yeah, this would have been better to use right at the beginning to explain everything.
By all means.
And then maybe like one montage or the ending or something. But they used it quite a lot.
All the fucking time.
Yeah. Like, where'd your 25 million go, dude?
Apparently to the animation.
Yeah. The girls learn from the eccentric sub girl, Ann Cusack, that Sam is working at a sex club called Liquid Silver. I didn't even know she was sub girl. Like, something tells me the editing.
Yeah.
Or they forgot, but she was sub girl. This was a horrible scene. Like, she knocked her out with that plastic fish.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh God.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's like they got one take and forgot about it and then had to use it.
Oh my God.
They infiltrate the club, rescue Sam from a pedophile rat face. Iggy Pop makes his cameo. Poor Iggy Pop. I don't know why he would agree to that. That's a creepy fucking cameo.
Because he's Iggy Pop.
Yeah, that's true.
He probably
And
thought it was going to be cool.
yeah, probably thought it was gonna be cool.
Sucker.
And then humiliate the club's owner, the madam, Anne Magnuson, by making
Mhm.
her sing Cole Porter's "Let's Do It" at gunpoint. Yeah, this was stupid, right?
This was
whole
incredibly stupid.
okay. It wasn't just me.
Incredibly stupid. Like, not even just a little bit, incredibly stupid.
Yeah,
I actually made a note. This is my note. I'm like, so you go to rescue a girl and stop to perform a musical number?
yeah, not escape.
No, not escape.
Perform a
Not take
musical
her
number.
with dance, like full dancers, lights on a stage. Tank girls just performing. I'm
Yeah.
like, excuse me? Excuse me, what now?
Yeah, I love a big musical number as much as the next guy, but this was dumb.
I like them in musicals.
Yeah,
This
or
this
if
is
it
not a musical. If it fits the storyline, this makes no sense.
no,
This makes no
uh,
sense.
the pedophile thing was a bit cringe. Is that how the kids say it now? Cringe.
Yes, it was cringe. Of course, it's not the kids who say it, it's now millennials.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Should
Sorry,
ask my
Holmes.
kids.
Yeah.
Probably won't even pronounce, or they're probably made up words. Like if this was an R-rated, edgy, gritty movie, this all could have kind of worked, maybe. Like, but as a weird, fluffy, puffy, strangely rated R, why was this rated R? I didn't. There's no nudity. Was it the language?
It
Oh, it
might
can't be
have
the
been
gore.
it might have been the violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shooting, there's a lot of people dropping dead. There's a lot of limbs, like, even that when she's walking through the thing of that one scene where she's walking through the dead bodies and some of them
Yeah.
have, like, flares in their mouth and things like that. That would be enough to get it an R rating.
Yeah.
Because this was also at the beginning of the rating fiasco where they were starting to revisit, like, what qualifies as an R and NC-17, and they were like, "Maybe we have more ratings, blah, 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 blah." And also this was, if I'm not mistaken, when did, ratings for
Showgirls.
oh god,
Because
let's
that was one of the things where they tried to give it an NC, and they had to edit just to get it down to
yeah,
an R.
by the way, we should totally watch that.
90.
The
Apparently,
ratings
it's like now it's been revisited a lot, and people are like, I remember liking it. I probably liked it for a lot different reasons than movie critics did back in the 90s.
I know I didn't
I was
hate
a
it. I
teenager.
didn't hate it,
I didn't hate it either.
but I watched it and I was like, "Why is everybody so mad?"
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't
Like,
think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was, like, Oscar worthy. Like, poor Elizabeth
Hurley
what was her name? No.
from Saved by the
Who
Bell. Oh,
Saved by the
Elizabeth Hurley.
Bell.
That's Hugh Grant's
No,
ex-wife.
we'll figure it out. Anyways, ratings for songs first started in 1987, so that was when people started, but, like, it started ramping up in the 90s, and people were getting very, like, this was also, coming off of the Say No to Drugs, whatever. A lot of helicopter parenting was starting in the 90s.
Yeah, that's when we got
Um,
introduced to TGIF and
yeah, like, there was a very much, like, "Let's come back to wholesome."
yeah,
But then I
which is
also realized, talking about this right now, this movie is the 90s version of feminism.
yeah.
Like Spice Girls feminism, that's what this movie is. And there's
Oh
nothing
yeah,
wrong with that, but this is not a feminism powerhouse.
no.
This is the bubblegum pop version
I
of
would argue
feminism.
now that we brought it up, Showgirls would be more feminism than
Yeah,
this movie.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, we should do Showgirls.
We should totally do I haven't seen Showgirls in literally maybe a couple decades.
I
When did it
went
even come out?
93, I think, and I remember
95.
95. Okay, so I did go to the theater. I was supposed to go to the theater with a girlfriend.
Mhm.
I pitched a fit because I wanted to go watch Halloween 6. Then I watched Showgirls, and I should have, because when I watched it, we had broken up, but I'm like, we really should have went and watched Showgirls.
Yeah, you should have gone to watch
I really didn't think
Showgirls.
that one through.
Yeah, no, you didn't. God, really? You turned down strippers for Michael
Oh,
Myers? What
I
is wrong
know.
with you? Elizabeth Berkley is who starred in
Berkeley.
Showgirls.
That's right.
I knew it was an Elizabeth, didn't realize she really thought this was going to be her big break into
Yeah.
movies and more adult roles. Little did she know it would just make her a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. And now, because the director, he directed oh my God, Total Recall and
Mm.
Starship Troopers and all those movies. But he said he filmed it this way on purpose, and he made it. I can't remember what I remember reading it a while ago, and now people are going, "Yeah, it is kind of like that." So yeah, I would like to go back and
We should
visit
totally
that.
watch it. Okay.
We're talking
N
about like a movie that might be better because this movie.
honestly, there are a lot of movies where you get really influenced by what people are saying about it and the time.
Yeah,
So when you go to watch it, it filters through that.
yeah.
Like in 1995, you would have watched Tank Girl and been like, "God, this is so cool."
I
Whereas
don't
in
think I did.
2023, well,
I think I liked Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone better than this movie.
damn. Well, no, actually, that's one of my favorite movies. Who am I kidding?
Judge Dredd is one of your favorite movies?
It is
Not
one
the
of the
Carl Urban, the Sylvester Stallone one?
no, Sylvester Stallone.
Because Carl Urban one's really awesome.
No, that one's a good quality movie.
Oh, you mean cheesy bad movie?
Yes,
Yes.
one of my favorites, and
Yes.
every time it is on TV, I want to watch it.
Yeah.
They have
We
not
should
been
watch
playing it
that
enough
one
in the last
too.
few years. Yes. I'm
I
telling
think
you,
we're
man,
making our list.
there's something look, Benjamin Bratt's in it and Sandra Bullock,
Rob Schneider and
Rob Schneider, like, it is
oh, wait a
my
minute.
god
I think you're thinking about the wrong movie. I think you're thinking about
am I?
Demolition Man
Oh,
with
fuck, you're
Wesley
right.
Snipes.
Oh, shit. Who's
Judge Dredd is with Rob Schneider, and he's the judge. I am the law, and Rob Schneider makes fun of him, and then they
wait,
both
no.
get sent out to the apocalyptic post wasteland or whatever.
Oh my god, yes, I've seen this one. I know this one.
Yeah, Judge
Also
Dredd. Demolition Man, agreed, is fantastic.
one of the
Campy.
best movies ever.
Yeah, it is so fun, so campy.
We
Wesley
should watch
Snipes is
Judge Dredd
awesome. Yes, we should watch Judge
because
Dredd.
I'm realizing it's been decades since I've seen this one too.
And it
Okay,
came out, I think, the same year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we should have just a 1995 series.
Heather, we've been watching a lot of 1995.
We
but
really
It
have.
seems like
Apparently,
it's
they
been a
made a lot of
great.
movies.
I don't know about great. We'll have to go back and see what other 95 ones we watched.
Yeah, but that's okay. But anyways,
All right.
we're gonna get back to Tank Girl.
Yes. Okay. So WP, the troops break up the
Mhm.
performance and recapture Sam. Okay. This might be the stupidest scene in a movie full of stupid. They send in a small army to kidnap Sam,
Yep.
the girl Tank Girl loves,
Mm-hmm.
from Tank Girl to
Uh-huh.
lure Tank Girl into a trap.
As opposed to just, capturing
Tank
Tank
Girl.
Girl during her musical number.
They're actually, when they see her get in the jet, they're walking among troops.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's right there, you fucking morons. Get her.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot in this movie. Like
Yeah.
a lot where you're just like, did anybody read this twice?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Basically, villain sends in an army, steal girl from Tank Girl to lure Tank Girl into a trap. This sums up the hate I have for this movie. This isn't silly 60s pop rock sitcom fun. This is just plain dumb.
yep. You can, if there was a story editor on this, like I kind of want to check the credits now. That story editor should never work ever again.
Yeah, I have a note like that later. just down here a bit. Okay, so Tank Girl and Jet Girl wander the desert and find the Ripper's hideout.
Mhm.
They learn that the Rippers are super soldiers creating from human and kangaroo DNA, not wallabies, like we
Yes.
had in our
I made a note. They're
yeah,
kangaroos.
not wallabies.
Although there is that one Ripper who
Looks kind of like a wallaby.
well, one of them's apparently mixed with a dog. So
Yeah, that actor, I have it written down somewhere, is amazing. He always
yes.
plays a bad guy because he looks like a bad guy, but he is such a good actor.
Are you talking about Jeff Kober?
Yes,
Booga? Yeah.
yeah, he's amazing.
He is the greatest villain to villain ever. But also I like this is terrible to say. The kangaroos were my favorite part.
Actually, I made a note. Okay, so Tank Girl, that they learn that the Rippers are called Johnny Prophet. Yeah, this was not the worst. I thought this was going to be I'm like, because I'm sitting there looking at the time on my phone and going, oh my God, look, they haven't even got to the fucking kangaroos yet. And I'm like, but that was not the worst part at all. That
No.
actually might have been the highlight of this movie.
Yep.
The kangaroos.
The kangaroos were actually a highlight because they were all very distinctive personalities.
Yep.
Some were more serious than others. They all had a mission, not like Tank Girl, who was just kind of like, whatevs.
Yep.
Oh, I'm being held captive now. Whatevs. I'm supposed to be watching. Whatevs. Oh, I'm supposed to be protecting this little girl who I'm trying to rescue from being in a brothel. Oh, but there's a musical number.
Yep.
Whatevs. I wanted to fucking punch her through half of this movie. But anyways. Okay, I'm okay now.
I like the truth serum, or they give them the gas to tell the truth. I like
Yes.
that. Even
Yep.
the one who's like, we should let these drugs. What did he say? We should hump them, like while they're drugged out. That one that's always and dry humping Jet Girl
Yes.
when they're doing their dance number.
I think he says just before they start, "Don't worry, I have a condom."
Yeah, I have
Like,
condoms.
what? But he's just like, they're all fully dressed, and he's just like kind of humping on her, and then she eventually gets into it, and I was like, "This is nice."
I
This is fun.
actually laughed out loud because while not in the political climate of today, it was still funny because
It
he was giving her on that
it's
dance
funny
floor.
because it's also ridiculous, and
Oh, it's beyond ridiculous.
how many people's dogs do you know that hump like that? So that was my first thought. I was like, "Oh my god, he's just an overgrown dog. This is amazing." Also, Ice-T
Ice-T,
plays
yeah.
a fantastic grumpy kangaroo, and I'm like, why are the kangaroos my favorite part?
Yeah, surprisingly, I really thought, because I kind of remember that, because being like, oh, the kangaroos are so stupid. And I was worried about, like, the kangaroos haven't
Yeah.
shown. It's been an hour. It felt like 3.
Yeah.
And the kangaroos, but yeah, they were actually a highlight of. They were
Mm,
funny. I did enjoy them. I liked the horny one. I liked the iced tea one. I liked the mellow
yeah.
poem speaking one. And then what's his name? The dog, the one that was actually a dog, and
Yes.
because he was so smart, they they moved him to the front of the line, and he was actually pretty good.
They were fantastic, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Why am I enjoying these scenes so much more?"
I think because you just watched an hour of Tank Girl by herself before that, and finally something that was semi
Yeah.
enjoyable popped up.
Yeah.
Where are we here? While a Ripper named Donner, Scott Coffey, shows romantic interest in Jet Girl, despite the objections of the Ripper T Saint, Ice-T, who is suspicious of the girls, the Ripper's leader, DT, Reg E. Guthrie, sends the pair out to capture a shipment of weapons. This is the
Mhm.
whole pretending to be the photographers, taking pictures for the calendar.
Yeah.
I know someone or a few people read this script and was like, this is good. I just hope none of those people are working on anything ever again. That's my note I have here. Whoever whoever okayed all these ideas, I hope but
Yeah.
they do. So does the director. The girls bring the weapon crates back but most are empty. After finding Johnny Prophet dead in the one container, the girls and the Rippers realize that WP has tricked them. Now, a really good villain, not even a great villain, just mediocre, good, would have
Yeah.
put a tracker in one of those crates.
Mm,
Nope, this was to antagonize the Rippers to come and battle it out in his evil lair. That whole scene of getting the shipment wasn't bad.
no, it wasn't bad.
It was goofy where she like falls and sits on. I get that was what they're trying to portray. It wasn't horrible,
Yeah.
but by this time I'm already
You're tired of it by now.
yeah.
You're just like, come on, guys.
So the girls and the Rippers sneak into WP where they are ambushed. Kesley, whose body had been reconstructed by cybernetic surgeon Chet Sai, played by
Mhm.
James Hong, who is freaking great in everything he does.
He's a legend.
From
He is
Big
a
Trouble in
legend.
Little China to Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
And everything in between.
He
Guess
just did Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah, and guest spots in Seinfeld and King of
Yeah.
Queens and Big Bang Theory. I looked at his IMDb, 462 acting credits.
Yeah. He's a
Like,
fucking legend.
and probably not paid a penny of what he's actually worth.
Oh
But
God, no. No, not even close.
oh,
The man
he's
is
in,
priceless.
yeah, he's awesome.
Priceless.
And he reveals that Tank Girl was unknowingly had been bugged the entire time. So Malcolm McDowell bugged her, not to
Mhm.
find her, just to listen to her.
But also remember, he did put a tracker in her.
Did he?
Yeah, just before he was gonna send her to find the Rippers.
Oh yeah. So why didn't?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep.
As soon as yeah, I remember that now. I forgot all about that. Yeah, he did put
Yeah.
a tracker just in case she got
Well,
through.
when he said, "Well, it was you. We filled you full of like microphones and listening devices and whatever," he said, I was sitting there going, "Wait, they also put a tracker in her.
Yeah.
So why the fuck did they just take her out?" Jesus Christ.
He played a great villain, but the villain on screen was not a good villain. He was a very
He
bad
was a
villain.
stupid villain.
Yeah.
Stupid.
DT, the Ripper, sacrifices himself, damaging the generator. And in the darkness, the Rippers turn the tide of the battle. Jet Girl
Yes.
kills Sergeant Small, Dawn Harvey, who had earlier
Mhm.
sexually harassed her. She also kills a few dozen soldiers armed with high-powered automatic weapons, and she just has a handgun.
Yeah.
Like, she's just popping them off left and right.
Because apparently hanging out with Tank Girl long enough and then wearing clear pants is
Mm.
enough to bolster your self-esteem so you become a killing machine.
Got it.
Mhm.
Kesley reveals that Sam is in the pipe, her life endangered by rising water. Tank Girl kills Kesley, then pulls Sam out of the pipe. The film ends with an animated sequence showing water starting to flow freely. Tank Girl drives down the rapids, pulling Booga, that's the Ripper, the dog one, behind on water skis, then takes them over a waterfall, shouting for joy, much like I was that this movie was fucking over.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Oh my God, the joy. And that is our movie. Now, as of this recording, our poll on YouTube, if you subscribe to us on YouTube, we usually put polls up. Here's a poll for Tank Girl. As of today, 18% said buy it because girl power. 0% said rent it for 90s comic goodness. Stream it, Ice-T as a kangaroo, 9%. 73% said skip it. All of the above and more. So buy it, 18, 0 for rent it, 9% for stream it, and 73% of the people polled said skip it.
I mean, valid. Ice-T as a kangaroo is worth it.
Yeah.
To stream it, like 100%. Because you can pick out which kangaroo is Ice-T.
Oh yeah,
100.
easy.
Yeah, you're like Ice-T right there. He's got the same mean mug in real life. It's amazing. But yeah, that I want to say I'm surprised that the number's so high
For skip it?
for skip it. Like I'm surprised it's at 7. I knew it would be the top choice, but I didn't think it would be that high.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
Yeah. It's
All
really
right.
high.
Yeah, so what is your score?
I'd like to preface this before I tell you my score by saying this movie had all the potential. It had the elements it needed to be an absolutely stunning, classic female-led movie. Tank Girl could have been the superhero every teenage girl and up and younger could look up to. Instead, they gave us this drivel. I'm mad that I'm like, I really like the kangaroos. That's probably one of the best parts of the movie. Malcolm McDowell, such a talented actor, and even he can make his ridiculous villain feel real. And a little threatening, and I appreciate him for that. Naomi Watts was fine. Lori Petty, I don't know if it was an acting choice or a director's choice, but I feel like this was not a character that made sense for what is happening in the movie. However she was portrayed, I feel like it didn't jive with what the story that was trying to be told. At least I'm assuming that's the story that was trying to be told. Who the fuck knows? Because this is really shitty writing. Also, this is not feminism. This is bubblegum pop feminism from the 90s, where all you had to say was, "Woo, girl power! You can wear your skirt as short as you want. Feminism, woo! Women supporting women." I'm like, this, oh, Jesus fucking H Christ. And don't get me wrong, that's a good foundation for beginner feminism for the 10 and unders.
Yeah.
This is an adult movie. This is not for children's. It's rated R, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So I'm gonna say skip it. Also, because I was fucking falling asleep watching this. I had to struggle to wait. I paused this motherfucker to make a cup of coffee, and even still, nothing was helping. I was snacking, trying to stay awake. Nah, couldn't do it. So skip this movie. Skip it.
Well, I just asked Google to give me some 90s feminist movies.
Yeah.
Tank Girl's not on there.
Thank God.
Thelma and Louise, Clueless, The Craft,
Yes.
Little Women, A League of Their Own, Tu Wong Fu. Would that be a feminist movie?
Yes.
Okay. G.I. Jane, Serial Mom. Yeah.
Yep. Because I'll tell you about Tu Wong Fu. Tu Wong Fu talks about the nature of being a woman and what constitutes a woman and what is womanhood, which is something you need to understand in order to understand feminism. Because let's get super soapboxy here. The patriarchy is responsible for a lot of the definitions of what a woman is and what it means to be a woman. So basically, it's just a bunch of men telling women the only way you can have value in society is by conforming to these rules. And if you're outside of that, you need to conform. Otherwise, you're going to be not punished, but
Ostracized.
kind of ostracized or pulled apart from the collective.
Outside looking in.
You're not going to have support.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was my minimal soapbox rant about feminism. But Tu Wong Fu is a great feminism movie.
Right. All hail the patriarchy.
Yeah. Fuck the patriarchy. Burn
Actually,
that shit to the ground.
I remember sitting down going Tu Wong Fu, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. This is weird. Not because they were just that can't be funny. I actually like Tu Wong Fu. Yeah, that was a great movie.
I loved Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah, it was funny. I liked it. I mean, Wesley Snipes, John Leguizamo, and of course our favorite, who we probably watch more movies than anybody. It's Patrick Swayze.
We should have Tu Wong Fu.
We should. All right, my score. So you got to skip it. My score.
Yep.
Okay. How can I say this without sounding PC incorrect? Forgot to pay their brain bill. No grain in the silo. The Slinky has a kink in it. I don't know. All foam, no beer.
All
one
foam,
fruit,
no beer.
One taco short of a combination plate. I don't know. This it was horrible. Like they tried to go surfing in Nebraska. Yeah, it sucked. If this movie kept the silliness, tightened the action slightly, but still kept it ludicrous and aimed for a PG-13, it might have made more money. I still wouldn't have liked it, but it might have made more money. This movie had an identity crisis. This movie had a writing crisis. This movie had a directing crisis. And director Rachel Talalay,
sure, isn't
a bad director. She directed Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, and Ghost in the Machine. Oh, wait, maybe she is a bad director. Actually, if you look at her IMDb, she found her stride in a ton of TV, like good TV too. But something tells me that this was either heavily edited in the editing room or in pre-production, and it's too bad. The look was fine. I didn't mind. There was too many comic book strips the comic book strip sequences could have been dialed back a bit. The goofy effects of the jet and the kangaroos. It had really good actors. Like Malcolm McDowell brought his villain. this could have been a cool comic book movie, and if it had been done right, it would have been a franchise. It could have been a franchise.
100%.
But the editing story was atrocious. The tempo was goofy. This didn't feel like an R-rated movie, and in the end, nothing really worked. Like nothing, just odd set pieces and head-scratching storylines. The pedophile thing, the music number, the sub girl, the evil plots, and like, it made Dr. Claw and his mad agents from Inspector Gadget look more competent. In the end, this is a movie that they made, what we just watched, and because of that, I say skip it, because this movie sucked rhinoceros balls. Seriously, the wheel is spinning, but the hamster is dead. That's Tank Girl.
I mean, accurate. And I think that's what makes me so mad about this. Because they sold it to us as like this but I was like, this is not Tank Girl in this movie. I'm not sure about the comics. I mean, I would love to hear from someone who read the comics. But in this movie, Tank Girl does not have a mission.
No.
Tank Girl is literally just rolling with the flow, and she does not give a flying fuck. And I can understand being irreverent and cracking jokes and one-liners and being kind of a smartass with a mission. You have no mission. You're literally just going wherever you get thrown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I think that's why I had such an issue with the movie. And then I think that's why I doubled down on the whole this is not a feminist movie, because she just showed up wherever the men threw her
Yeah.
and dealt with it. And I was
And-
like, girl, take a step, do something, like initiate.
Yeah, which is too bad, because this could have been Harley Quinn before Harley Quinn even
Yes.
existed. Not the Harley Quinn with the Joker, the Harley Quinn that leaves the Joker.
This is like the Dollarama version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, because I love Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn.
Oh yeah,
Fucking
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
A bit wasted on some of the movies. That
100%. Yeah.
first Suicide Squad, it was all right, but apparently that movie was heavily tampered with. The second Suicide Squad, I loved. And I didn't mind the one where she was the Birds of Prey.
Yeah, no, I
Quinn
liked
one.
Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
It was definitely a different vibe from the
Yeah, but it
Suicide
was.
Squads,
I didn't
but
mind it.
I was like,
at all.
why was everybody hating on this movie?
Yeah, a lot of people hate on it.
Yeah, I was like, this is a perfectly good movie. What, are you mad because there aren't enough dicks swinging around? Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways.
All right. Was there anything else you would like to add to Tank Girl? Because we talked about a lot of other movies.
Right? No, however, we should totally list every movie that we said. We should totally watch that. And put them on their list to watch.
Yeah, when I do this, set it up, I will, when I go to re-edit it for the audio podcast, I will definitely write those down.
Yes, please do. Please do. Because I'm like, we're going through a lot of really great movies, and I or at least what I remember were great movies.
Yeah.
And I need a palate cleanser after this.
So for our YouTube show, we do trivia. Tank Girl had a lot of trivia.
I believe that.
So there's a few more than usual. Okay, so you may start.
Rachel Talalay.
Sure.
Cast Lori Petty in the lead role because she is crazy in her own life, and the film needed somebody like that.
Yep.
I mean, sure.
MGM insisted on cutting a scene of Tank Girl and her kangaroo boyfriend Boga reclining after sex despite spending $5,000 on a prosthetic penis for Boga. Director Rachel Talalay fought a battle with the studio over the edit. The studio insisted on removing scenes of Rebecca Buck, Lori Petty, and her mutant love interest Boga, Jeff Kober, in bed together from the video and DVD release of the film. The scenes had appeared in the original theater release.
So they didn't want any kangaroo love?
No, or kangaroo penis. But it
or the
was in the
suggestion
original
of
theater
Kangaroo.
release, so still, again, it only made $4 million. No one saw it, so no one
Yeah,
got to see it anyways.
I now want to see Kangaroo penis. Um, Ice-T recalled one interview on a hip hop show where the host made fun of him for doing Tank Girl. He replied, "I was paid $800,000 for that movie." The host moved on. He was paid $800,000 for it?
1995 for those scenes.
God.
Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett,
Mhm.
the creators of Tank Girl comic, have since spoken poorly of their experiences in creating the film, calling it a bit of a sore point for them. Hewitt said the script was lousy. Me and Alan kept rewriting it and putting Grange Hill 1978 jokes and Benny Hill jokes in, and they obviously weren't getting it. They forgot to film about 10 major scenes, so we had to animate them. It was a horrible experience.
That explains so much.
Yeah.
Wow. Rachel Talele complained that the studio interfered significantly in the story, screenplay, and feel of the film. She said that she had been in sync and on good terms with Alan Martin and Jamie Hewlett until the studio made significant cuts to the film, which she had no control over. Fuck the studio.
Yeah. So it kind of seems like Tank Girl could have been a way different movie. I don't know
Yeah.
how much better it would have been, or if we would have we would have been great. But
Well, one of my main complaints was the animation. And now I'm finding out it's because they literally forgot to record important scenes.
yeah,
So they had to animate them. And I was like, man.
yeah, because this movie, when it kind of like a lot of movies do that, where they do a bit of animation, this movie had to be the most I've ever seen.
Yeah. There
They
were a
get
lot of cut-ins.
25 million. What the fuck? Each Ripper's makeup took about 4 hours to apply. 3 technicians from Stan Winston's studio were required to work on each Ripper's articulations during filming. No puppets or digital effects were used for the Rippers. The actors said it was like wearing a couch. Ice-T never once complained when asked why. He replied, "Better than prison."
That's one thing I like about Ice-T. Even though he has lots of money and he makes lots of money, he is not a bougie man.
No, he's pretty honest too.
Yeah. When Lori Petty first looked at the script, she saw a sketch of the lead character that made her laugh and say, "That's me. I'm Tank Girl." Oh, sweetie.
One band the filmmakers wanted for the soundtrack was little-known act named Green Day. During production, they got so big that they could no longer afford them.
Ah. When it came to the Rippers, requests were sent out to all the major makeup and effects people, including Stan Winston. Rachel Talele said that while she considered Winston to be the best, she did not expect to hear back from him. When she did, she still did not think that she would be able to afford his studio on her budget. A meeting was arranged, and Winston insisted on being given the project, saying the Rippers would be the best characters we've had the opportunity to do. Winston Studio cut their usual prices in half to meet the film's budget. That's really nice, but
Yeah, that's
also the budget was 25 million, right?
yeah. I'm
That's a
wondering.
lot of money.
Yeah,
What did they spend it on other than iced tea?
yeah. I have a feeling like Ice-T got more than Lori Petty.
Possible.
An Empire magazine article from July 1995 included an interview with Jamie Hewlett, the co-creator of Tank Girl, who addressed the issue of how the film was extensively cut following test screenings. The character of Subgirl got cut down to one scene after originally being an integral part of the film. Whilst the ending changed, Hewitt said that the very last shot had Tank Girl burping into the camera. Hewitt shared his view on the process of editing. It's ridiculous having a bunch of snotty little 14-year-olds deciding how a film should be made. They were probably just snogging their bird or pulling each other's hair throughout the whole thing, he suggested. Hewitt also revealed that a scene with Tank Girl, Boga, and a 10-inch prosthetic cock also got cut. A $5,000 cock. It looked brilliant, he said. The whole scene was a very romantic, but MGM took it out too bestial. We were going, it's innocent, like seeing your mom and dad in bed together. MGM disagreed.
Seeing your mom and dad in bed together
That's
is
still
not
wrong.
innocent.
Yeah.
It's
I want to see
it's
my
still
mom and dad in
traumatic.
bed.
I walked in on my parents once. It was very
Oh,
uncomfortable.
ugh.
Um,
Oh.
Steven Spielberg was asked to produce the film, but declined because he felt he was not hip enough for it. This led to a slogan that the film was too hip for Spielberg.
Again,
Uh,
only they knew this.
Yeah, right. No, man, he read the script and he was like, I don't think they can do this. Naomi Watts auditioned 9 times.
9 times. Naomi Watts 9 times.
That's a lot of auditions.
Yeah.
When John Calley became president of MGM UA, he immediately snapped up the rights to Tank Girl for $25,000.
And then lost the studio tens of millions making Tank Girl.
See, but we both agree Tank Girl could have been a good movie.
Yeah, we did say that it had all the ingredients.
It had all the ingredients for a good
Yep.
movie. It's just apparently John Calley and his lackeys gone done fucked it up.
Yep.
Apparently.
Yep. Filming started in June of 1994 and was completed on September 21st. On December 9th, the director's cut of the movie was screened to a test audience, and the reaction was positive enough that the studio heads thought they have a hit on their hands. By Christmas 1994, the movie had a couple more test screenings, which received various reactions from the audience. The reaction to songs in the movie was positive, but many didn't like the big musical number in the middle of the movie, and it was cut down more and more after each test screening. MGM started to demand more drastic changes, and when their demands weren't met, they took the movie away from Rachel Talalay. On January 6, 1995, about a week and a half later, the movie was being directed and re-edited by one of the people involved in marketing, although Talalay was allowed some limited approval on the changes that were made. So this was a shit show.
They did her dirty.
Yeah. So they...
You're going to have someone from marketing edit it?
Yeah. And he was directing, like directed and re-editing.
Yeah. No. That's super.
Like, I get you're dumping a shitload of money into something and you want it to make money back, but you have then if you don't trust your direct, like, hire a different director from. Like, you have to.
There's a huge difference between marketing materials and creative material.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. Not in quality or what you can do an incredibly high quality marketing material, but when you're creating these materials, they have different goals. So your language is going to be different. And if you've got someone whose focus is promotion and sales, they're going to turn it into a very large commercial.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna work as a creative piece.
Well, look at
now this movie makes so much more sense.
Yeah. Why it's so bad.
Yeah.
But look at like, you want marketing material, look at Black Christmas 2006. They just went and shot scenes for a movie that was never in that movie for marketing material.
Oh, that's funny.
Didn't
They're
help
like,
that
oh, is
movie
that
either.
scene in the movie? No, it's okay. Put it in. It's fine.
Thank you for going back to 19.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage.
And was completed on September 21st. On December,
And it's just oh, that's funny.
Didn't
They're
help
like,
that
oh, is
movie
that
either.
scene in the movie? No, it's okay. Put it in. It's fine.
All right. Well, then, thank you for going back to 1995 and taking a look at Tank Girl. And we apologize if we had anything to do with you actually going to watch Tank Girl. So with that, until the next movie we remember liking. Yay. Yeah, I did not like that movie at all. Not at all.
I'm not even joking. I actually did kind of fall asleep. I had to rewind a couple times because I was like, I don't know how she got here.
I
And
was
rewind.
pausing it to see how much was left on the thing, going, oh my God.
Yeah.
There can't be 50 more minutes to go.
Oh, but there was.
Yeah.
There fucking was.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.